Imagine a vast, unexplored jungle. Now imagine a viral video making some pretty sensational claims about it. We're talking lost worlds, non-human remains, and creatures straight out of prehistory. Well, today we're going to break down the extraordinary story from one of those videos that has absolutely captivated millions online.
You know, the Congo Basin is one of the most remote and least understood places left on our planet. So when a video pops up claiming to have uncovered its deepest, darkest secrets, it really makes you wonder, what could really be hiding out there in a place so vast it's still a total mystery to us?
And that's exactly what we're here to do. For this explainer, we're zeroing in on the narrative laid out in a viral video from the channel 143 Explained. Now, just to be super clear, our mission isn't to verify or debunk these claims, but to just methodically unpack the story it tells, so you can see the full picture for yourself. So the source video weaves together several different, but supposedly connected mysteries. We're going to treat them like individual case files, starting with a string of disappearances that just don't have an easy explanation. 71. According to the video, that's the number of people who have vanished, just poof, gone, without a trace, around a single lake in the Congo over the last 4 years. 71 people, and not a single body or even a piece of clothing has ever been found. This chilling number is the jumping-off point for our first case.
And that brings us to our very first case file. What is supposedly going on at this lake? It's known locally as Lake Kaleba, but some call it the Mirror of Death. Let's dive into the story of the research team that was sent in to find out.
All right, so the story goes like this. November 2022, a 6-person international research team, decked out with body cameras and sat phones, gets to the lake. The first couple of days, totally normal. But on the third night, well, that's when everything went sideways. A deafening, creepy silence just fell over the entire jungle. And then, right from the center of that perfectly still, black water, something began to rise. As this massive creature, described as 20 to 25 feet tall with a long neck, emerged from the water, the team captain's terrified scream was captured on his body cam. Pago! Which, of course, means run. The footage, as the story goes, then just shows this chaotic escape through the pitch-black jungle, with the sound of these immense footsteps crashing right behind them. Well, only 5 of the 6 team members actually made it back. Their local guide, a man named Musa, was lost. And when they presented their unbelievable story and the body cam footage, the government allegedly swooped in. The footage was seized, classified, the survivors were forced to sign NDAs, and the entire Lake Kaleba area was declared a restricted zone. Okay, so here's where things get really wild. The video asserts, based on analysis of leaked bits of the footage, that this creature looks like a sauropod dinosaur. Now, obviously, that flies directly in the face of scientific consensus that says non-avian dinosaurs died out 65 million years ago. The source suggests the Congo's isolated ecosystem could have somehow preserved a species like this, a theory that, mainstream science considers impossible. But the video's claims don't stop with living monsters. Not even close. Our next case file shifts to a really disturbing archaeological find, one that supposedly challenges the entire story of human evolution in this part of the world.
The narrative then jumps to 2021. A rescue team, apparently searching for some missing hikers, stumbles upon a large cave. Inside, they find what looks like a mass grave. More than 50 skeletons, all gathered together. But these weren't normal human skeletons. According to the source, these skulls had some truly bizarre features. They're described as way larger than a human's, with this heavy, protruding brow and teeth that just weren't human. But the real kicker, the detail that just defies biological explanation, was what appeared to be a perfectly formed third eye socket, right there in the middle of the forehead. So they carbon date these things, right? And supposedly, the oldest of these skeletons is around 15,000 years old. But here's the twist. Some were as recent as just 200 or 300 years old. And according to the video's narrative, this suggests that this species wasn't just ancient, it might have survived well into the modern era, or could even still be around today.
All right, so we've had a lake monster and ancient three-eyed skulls. Now the story zooms out, way out. Our third case file claims the discovery of not just a lost species, but an entire lost civilization buried deep beneath the jungle.
The story goes that it all started back in 2019. Satellite scans of the Congo picked up these strange, symmetrical patterns deep under the canopy, patterns that just did not look natural.
So when they used ground-penetrating radar, the results were, according to the video, just unbelievable. The outlines of an entire city, complete with buildings and roads, all buried underground.
So, in 2020, an expedition apparently tries to find a way into this thing. They go down into this deep cave system and find walls covered in carvings in a language nobody recognizes. Then their gear starts to fail. GPS, radios, even their flashlights just died. They're drawn forward by this faint blue glow and enter this massive chamber lit by glowing fungus. And in the center stood a 30-foot statue of a slender, non-human creature with a third eye. Just as they got close, a deafening shriek echoed through the hall, sending them scrambling for their lives.
And this is maybe the most chilling part of the whole theory. The source claims that satellite thermal imaging has detected heat signatures coming from deep underground in that area. And it's not volcanic activity, it's patterned heat, which suggests this city might not be a dead ruin at all. It might be active.
And that, of course, leads to the source video's central, most dramatic question. What if this ancient civilization, the one that built this city, the one whose skeletons were found in a nearby cave, never actually died out? Okay, so this is where it all comes together. The final section, where the video takes all these separate stories, the lake creature, the three-eyed skulls, the sunken city, and the disappearances, and ties them all into one giant overarching conspiracy theory.
The final piece of this puzzle, according to the source, just happened. In March of 2024, an 8-person team of climate scientists went missing. Their camp was found perfectly intact, laptops open, cups of tea still on the table, but the scientists were gone. The only thing found was a trail of blood that went for about a kilometer, before it just stopped, as if whatever it was just vanished into thin air.
So this is it. This is how the video connects all the dots. It alleges that these events aren't just isolated incidents. The core claim is that an ancient, advanced, non-human species is living in these underground cities in the Congo. They're hostile to any outsiders who get too close, which would explain the disappearances. The lake creature is supposedly one of their guardians or maybe even some bioengineered creation. And finally, the video theorizes that world governments know about all of this and are actively covering it up, maybe through some secret pact to just leave this civilization alone in exchange for them staying hidden.
Ultimately, when you really boil it down, the story presented by the source is this potent mix of modern conspiracy and ancient mystery. It really taps into our fascination with the unknown, and it leaves us with one final lingering question. In an age where we have information at our fingertips, what happens when our ability to create digital myths collides with one of the very few places on Earth that is still, truly, a blank spot on the map?